summer ever!
I think it's time for some story time.
What is WWE?
God is probably like the best wrestler ever.
Hi there, Kids Planet. We're so excited about the series we're in right now.
Because it's called When Pigs Fly. Doesn't that sound crazy?
When you hear someone use the phrase, when pigs fly, that means that they are talking about something that could never happen.
Right. Something as unbelievable as pigs that can fly.
I'm pretty sure they can't. But crazier things have happened.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Well, to get to the bottom of this debate, we're going to interview some real pigs ourselves.
And ask them the tough questions we've all been wondering, like, can pigs truly fly?
And what their favorite kind of breakfast cereal is.
Vince, no one is wondering that. Pigs don't even eat cereal.
They might. We know they don't eat bacon for breakfast. So tell me, what's your name? Nice to meet you. I'm Vince.
What's your favorite breakfast cereal? Nice. Mine's Lucky Charms.
Do you think you're better than cows?
Do you wish sometimes you could just take a long, hot bath?
Do you ever get jealous of pigs with curlier tails than you do?
Do you really like playing? Wait, come back! Wait, I have more questions!
How long do you think it would take for you to tie a shoe?
Can you fly, or do you know any other pigs that can fly?
Why are we even doing this? They aren't giving us very good answers.
Vince, you didn't actually think the pigs would talk to you, right?
I don't know. I thought that if they could fly, then they could talk too.
That's the point, Vince. They can't fly or talk either.
Well, if God wanted them to, they could.
Okay, I guess you have a point, but that's the only way we'd ever see when pigs fly.
Hi, did you have a good summer?
I had the best summer ever!
No, I did.
No, maybe, but mine was better.
Well, I went to the Grand Canyon and I got to ride a train 3 times.
I went to 4 water parks and I went swimming every single day.
Me and my older brother, we had 2 different water balloon fights and I almost won both times.
Well, did you know that there's a new baby giraffe at the zoo and I got to feed it?
Oh yeah, well.
All right. Why don't the 2 of you come over here for a little story time?
Okay.
Alrighty, I think it's time for some story time.
Ooh, let's read Grumpy Monkey.
No. I want her to read If You Give a Mouse a Cookie.
Actually, I've already picked out our story for today. We're gonna read a crazy but true story about a man who wrestled with an
Like WWE?
What is WWE?
It's the wrestling you see on TV. My dad and I watch it together all the time.
Not quite, but I love the enthusiasm. So go ahead and put that away and we'll finish our story.
Okay, Mrs. Reed.
So today we're actually gonna read a true story about a man named Jacob. And before our story happened, Jacob had made some really bad decisions. He knew that he was in a lot of trouble and there were a lot of people who were really mad at him. And at one point they even wanted to kill him.
But they couldn't because he wrestled them and pinned them down.
Not quite.
So when will the wrestling start?
Shh, just let her finish.
Thank you. Now, where was I? Yes, that's right. So Jacob was scared and running away from all of his problems and trying to fix the problems on his own. That's when our story today gets started. A story about how God finally got Jacob's attention. So let's start reading. All right. Now remember, Jacob had run away from all of his problems. This left Jacob all alone in the camp, and a man came and wrestled with him.
Finally, now we get to see some action.
But there's an important detail that I've been trying to tell you guys. You see, the Bible reveals to us later that this man was an angel of the Lord.
So Jacob probably looked like he was rolling in the dirt and wrestling with someone invisible.
No, I know what was happening. He was wrestling with someone in a long white gown, a golden halo, and some wings on their back.
Or it may have looked like a glowing person, like the angels look like in the movies.
Actually, since the Bible doesn't let us know until later that the man that Jacob was wrestling was an angel of the Lord, Jacob probably wouldn't have realized that he was anything special. He would have just seen a strange man running at him. So let's try reading it now with that in mind. This left Jacob all alone in the camp, and a man came and wrestled with him until the dawn began to break. When the man saw that he would not win the match, he touched Jacob's hip and wrenched it out of his socket. Yes, Emma?
What does it mean when you said wrenched out of the socket?
Oh, a wrench like in my dad's toolbox.
Actually, great memory. But what the Bible's actually saying here with the sentence, he touched Jacob's hip and wrenched it out of its socket, that just means that when the angel of the Lord touched Jacob's hip, it made it hurt, and it even made him limp.
Like my granny when she had hip surgery?
Yeah, but there's no way your granny could wrestle somebody.
Oh yeah, she could.
Wittily?
Wittily.
Okay, you two. So let's get back to the story. So the man touched Jacob's hip, and now he has a limp. But this whole time, they still have not stopped wrestling. Then the man said,
"Let me go, for the dawn is breaking!"
Who is Dawn and why is she breaking?
No, silly, it's like the blue soap. Our soap breaks all the time.
Actually, dawn is breaking just means that the sun is coming up.
Oh.
But wait, who is the man wrestling with Jacob?
It's an angel of the Lord. Haven't you been listening?
I know, but I don't know who that is. What's his name? Steve or something?
Well, let's see what the Bible has to say about that. Jacob said, "I have seen God face to face, yet my life has been spared."
So it was God the whole time?
It does sound like that, huh?
God is probably the best wrestler ever.
That's an interesting way to think about it.
Wait, so when Jacob said he saw God, does that mean he knew who he was wrestling?
Jacob finally realized that God was trying to get his attention. You see, God had to stop Jacob because he wasn't seeing things the way he needed to. He was running away from his problems and trying to fix them all on his own. And from this story, we can learn that God helps us when we feel stuck.
So, if I get stuck, does that mean God is gonna hurt my hip?
No. You see, the Bible gives us stories of how God helped many different people in different ways when they were stuck. Jonah ran away from God, so God had him swallowed up by a giant fish. Or Moses, he ran away from his problems instead of facing them, and so God spoke to him through a burning bush. God gets our attention and speaks to us all in many different ways.
Oh, good. That makes me feel so much better. I don't want to use a walker for the rest of my life.
So, did Jacob have to use a walker or something after that day?
Well, the Bible tells us that he was limping because of an injury to his hip.
So he did need a walker.
Well, in those days, they would have used long sticks to help them walk.
Oh, like a cane?
Oh, kind of like a cane, only they would have been a little bit taller, and they would have called it a staff.
A staff? That's a funny word.
So Jacob had a limp for the rest of his life?
Yep, he had a limp until the day he died. And the staff he leaned on was a reminder that he would need to rely on God to guide him every day. Jacob learned an important lesson that we can all remember too. God helps us when we feel stuck.
Oh, like that time my little brother got his head stuck in a bucket and my mom had to use butter to pull it off.
That sounds like a time when your brother was physically stuck. But sometimes in life we can feel like we're stuck because we have a tough choice to make, or like when we know we have something to do that might seem really hard.
Oh, and God wants to help us with that.
Exactly.
Do you think God will help me the next time I'm stuck in one of my wrestling matches?
Well, it sure wouldn't hurt to ask him for help. All right, are you guys ready for some recess?
Yeah, I call line leader.
I'm gonna go grab the rest of my wrestling gear.
Maybe let's save that for show and tell.
Okay.
Hearing crazy, awesome stories from the Bible, just like the one we heard today, may sound as crazy as saying a pig could fly. But you can trust that this story is 100% true because God can do anything.